Students, happy Monday. I hope you all are staying nice and warm and hopefully do not have anywhere to go today. So real quickly, I just wanted to go over your lesson one quiz. It looks like most of you did fairly well on the quiz, but just in case, I'm going to reveal the answers so you can see if you did make any errors, what those errors were and why. So if we look at question one, you are matching the typical developmental stages of oral development with their characteristics. So from 0 to 3 months was A, they coo, cry, and smile. From 1 to 2 years was G here. They speak in 2-word phrases. From 4 to 5 years was E. They speak in detailed sentences. From 6 to 8 months was, that's number 4, so that would be C. They make speech like babbles. From 3 to 4 years, that is B. They speak in sentences with 4 or more words. From 7 months to 1 year, babies typically, F, use words like mama, dada, baba, etc. And then from 2 to 3 years, which was number 7, should be D. They speak in 2 to 3 word phrases and they are more easily understood. Okay, looks like most of you got that correct. It looks like 100% of you did actually. Number 2, students with delayed or poor language acquisition will likely be poor readers and writers. This is true. So this is why we talk about that oral language development and those skills being so important from birth on and maybe even in utero, right? So you're developing those skills, and that's why we have screeners early, even before kids get to school. They're being screened by their pediatrician because obviously early intervention is extremely crucial. Number 3, you're matching the language component with its definition. So awareness and the manipulation of sounds is phonology. Okay, remember, phonology is just hearing. It's all auditory. We're aware of the sounds and we're able to manipulate them, blend them, segment them, delete them, add a sound, substitute a sound, etc. Number 2, understanding the meaning of words and phrases is E, semantics, okay? So that's kind of the meaning of words and phrases. That's the vocabulary and understanding what a phrase means. Number 3, understanding of word order and grammatical rules is B, syntactics, okay? So that is, we understand grammatic rules for English in the order in which the order of words in a sentence to make it make sense. And then number 4, understanding the social rules of communication is D, pragmatics. So that's when we know when we use certain styles of speaking. When I'm talking to my buddy, I'm probably talking a little bit differently than when I'm talking to someone maybe I'm interviewing with a position, for a position. Okay, I'm probably much more relaxed, much more casual language with a friend than I am if I'm in a professional situation, right? And then number 5, understanding the meaning of words. So that's word parts, that's prefixes, suffixes, and roots. That is C, morphology. So morphemes are those smallest parts of words that provide meaning for those words. So it might be a Latin root, an Anglo-Saxon root, a Greek root, a prefix that we put on the beginning of a word that changes its meaning, or a suffix that we put on the end of the word that changes the word's meaning. Several of you missed this. So we learned to read from speech to print. So we talked about this being extremely important. We have to first understand those phonemes, what we hear, how we articulate those phonemes before we can then apply those to the written word. So the first one was speech. The second word should be print. We learn to read from speech to print. The following are components of word recognition. So remember, we're thinking about those two sides of the simple view of reading. We've got word recognition and we've got language comprehension. So under word recognition are phonological awareness, sight recognition, and the alphabetic principle. So we have to understand, again, that hearing and being able to articulate those sounds and manipulate those sounds. Then we learn, I'm going to skip down to here, the alphabetic principle. That is that correspondence between the letters and the sounds. And then once we learn them and we start applying them and orthographically mapping those letters and sounds, we begin to learn words and be able to recognize words and store them in our sight word memory. So we're able to recall them instantaneously. Okay, so that's all under word recognition. Now, the simple view of reading, or SVR, is, this is A, the product of decoding and language comprehension equals reading comprehension. So remember, decoding and word recognition are the same thing. But the most important part here is product, because remember, in that equation, it has to be a multiplication equation, excuse me, because it has to be 1 times 1 equals 1. So if you remember from the video, if you have decoding and no language and not strong language comprehension, it's 1 times 0, you get 0. If you have strong language comprehension and poor decoding, it's 0 times 1 still equals 0. But if you must have strong decoding or word recognition and strong language comprehension to get to good reading comprehension. So 1 times 1 equals 1. So the reason these are wrong, this says the product of reading comprehension. Remember, reading comprehension is the result. This one says the sum, as if you're adding, okay? And this one says the sum, meaning you're adding, okay? So the product is, it's a multiplication equation, and it's decoding or word recognition times language comprehension gets us to reading comprehension. The following are all components of language comprehension. So now we're looking at that other side of the simple view of reading. So this says except. The following are all components of language comprehension except, and that is B. So remember, sight recognition is part of the decoding or word recognition side. But verbal reasoning, language structures, and vocabulary knowledge are part of that language comprehension side. The components of structured literacy include B, phonology, sound symbol relationships, or the alphabetic principle, syllables, semantics, syntax, and morphology. So the understanding of our language, basically, and all those parts that make up the English language. Match the definitions for each structured literacy principle. So systematic is D. It follows a logical order of language, beginning with easier concepts and moving to more difficult concepts. So when students start learning about language, or say phonics, they start with simple consonants, start adding some short vowels, and then we move on to more complex skills like digraphs and long vowels and diphthongs and less commonly used graphemes to represent phonemes. So it starts easier and gets to more difficult concepts. Number 2, cumulative is B. Each concept builds upon the previous concept learned. So it's really important that students master the concepts as they continue to move throughout the scope and sequence. Number 3, explicit is C. It's the direct teaching of the concept with opportunities for multi-sensory practice. So we talked a little bit about this of having that gradual release. I do, we do, you do. Okay. And then the last one, 4, diagnostic is A. Continuous assessment to inform instruction based on students' needs. So we're looking, did they master the skill? Can we continue to move through that scope and sequence, or do we need to reteach or provide intervention or pull small groups for students that are struggling? So we're constantly assessing, and it can be informal assessments, but it's allowing us to see where each student is on the continuum and what support they need. And then the last question, what percentage of students need code-based, explicit, systematic, and sequential instruction to become proficient readers? Is A, 40 to 50%. So if you remember, that ladder of reading shows the percentages of different the different percentages of students and how they learn to read, but we know that 40 to 50% need that code base. So why wouldn't we deliver that instruction to everyone, and therefore everyone is able to achieve? Okay, so if you have any questions about those, please let me know. Feel free to reach out. Let's go into lesson 2 and kind of go through what you're going to be doing this week. Slowly, my computer's a little slow this morning. Come on, come on. Okay, there we go. So in lesson 2, we're going to be covering phonological awareness. So remember, phonological awareness is that ability to manipulate sounds. So you are going to be watching first, before anything, is watching this lesson 2 overview and key concepts. It's about 13 minutes long. Okay. And then you're going to be reading this article on readingrockets.com, why phonological awareness is important for reading and spelling. And this article on readingrockets.com, the development of phonological skills. So it's going to go through that scope and sequence of phonological skills here. So it's kind of starting at the simpler skills and then moving down to the more complex skills. And then here's a chart where it shows the typical age at which these skills develop. So you'll want to study that. Okay, so that's super important. And then I also have a Google Sites that I've put together with some more information on phonological skills. And something that's super important are watching these videos. So you're going to watch Heggerty, which is a phonological awareness curriculum, and it has 3 different levels. So we've got like a preschool curriculum, we've got a kindergarten curriculum, and then we've got a primary curriculum, which is typically delivered in 1st and 2nd grades. So it's super important that you watch these videos because you're actually going to be demonstrating a Heggerty lesson for your assignment today, for this week, excuse me. So then here are some videos on if children are having difficulty with some of these skills, you can pull them in small groups or one-on-one. And there's different activities using manipulatives to kind of scaffold that instruction to help them with these phonological or phonemic awareness skills. So it's showing an activity for each of these skills: phoneme substitution, phoneme deletion, segmentation, blending, and segmenting. So be sure to watch those videos. Now, for your assignments, you have your lesson 2 quiz. Again, you have unlimited time to take the quiz, but only 1 attempt. So please use your resources and take your time. The next assignment is super important. You are going to actually be recording demonstrating a Heggerty lesson. And this is the first step in this explicit phonics lesson plan sequence, is this phonemic awareness. So you're warming up that phonological processor with students, okay? And so for this, this isn't showing because my browsers, I don't have the, my browser doesn't have JavaScript right now. If you're having a trouble seeing this, please reach out. It may be that you just need to enable JavaScript here. But for this assignment, you're going to be audio recording a Heggerty lesson, okay? And so you're going to, again, these are the same videos that I have linked in that Google Sites. So if you didn't watch them there, be sure to watch them here, okay? You're going to download this lesson, this primary Heggerty lesson. So here is the lesson. Obviously, you're going to want to expand this so you can see it better. Download it, print it, whatever you need to do. You are going to perform one of these days, but not Monday, because the sample, I think, is Monday. So you can choose Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. The lessons are vertical. So it's Tuesday here, and it goes to the 2nd skill here, 3rd skill, blending syllables, blending phonemes here. If you will notice on the left side, here is your script. It literally tells you what to say. It says, I will say 2 words. You will say the words back to me. Show me thumbs up if the words rhyme and thumbs down if they don't rhyme. And then you say the 2 words, tip, lip. And then because you're not in front of students, you will just say, yes, thumbs up, they rhyme. Coat, boat. Yes, thumbs up, they rhyme, okay? So here is your script. You're literally following this script. So you can choose Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. You only have to audio record it. I'm not asking you to video record it. And there is a sample on our class Padlet for you to watch. And again, this isn't loading properly for me, but there is a sample on the Padlet. If you have not used Padlet before, here is a link with directions on how to record your voice on Padlet. So again, you can choose any lesson except Monday to voice or audio record and post it to the Padlet. Okay, if you have questions, any questions at all, please feel free to reach out. I am here to help you. That is my job. You're never bothering me by emailing me, texting me, whatever you need. I'm here to provide that support. Don't forget your virtual field experience assignments. You click here for the videos. You're describing 3 things you learned, 2 ways you can apply this to your current or future practice, and 1 question you still have. I did have someone reach out to me last night to tell me that this last video, the Haggerty hand motions, is not working. So I'll try to fix that link. If it is not fixed by the time you watch the videos, just skip it. It's fine. It's not a big deal. But I'll go back and see if I can't find that link or the new link and relink it for you. There are some additional resources. So these are sample lessons for pre-K, kindergarten, and you already have the sample lesson for primary since you're using that. There's also Haggerty Bridge the Gap, which is lessons that we would use for the upper grades, maybe 3rd grade and beyond, for intervention. And then this is the Haggerty hand motions video. Maybe it's linked here. Oh, it looks like I did relink it here. So I'll go ahead and grab this link and place it back on the field videos assignments. Okay, so that's, and then using Elconian sound boxes. And this is just a link to a sound mat that you can use to maybe push chips in or manipulatives when you're scaffolding, doing phonemic awareness activities. Okay, have a great week. Please reach out if you have any questions. Thanks.